Hello, everyone. I'm Todd with Empowered Men Coaching. Thank you for being here tonight at a Todd Talk workshop. I appreciate you taking the time, and tonight we will be discussing uncertainty and how that is playing in our lives today in light of the coronavirus. It's a different time. This is a major disruption. I'm 57 years old, and never in my lifetime have I experienced a situation where virtually countries are just completely shutting down in hopes to tamper the spread of the virus. And as a result, job situations are changing, routines, our daily routines are changing, who we're able to see and interact and places we go, it's all changing. And not only is it changing, the change is changing. We really don't know what might be in place tomorrow or next week. So overall, you and I are having to deal with living and existing in this time of uncertainty. So I am a life coach. I help men take action to live the lives they want to be living. My hope for you is that at the end of our conversation tonight, you will feel empowered, that you will have some new tools and techniques to help you function at your very best during this time. And show up as the man or woman, if you happen to be watching this, that you desire to be. So with that, let's begin. I'd like to share my screen with you, and we are going to begin with this. So let's see, let me get that on there for you, share, here we go. All right, managing uncertainty. Man, is that word a mouthful today, right? So this is the situation that you may be experiencing. In our evolutionary history, as cavemen, as whatever it was when we were living in the brush in the wild, our bodies developed that when things were uncertain, that we would react. Normally, when we're interacting with our families, when we're going to work, when we're just living our daily lives, we operate from our rational brain. And our rational brain provides us a context of our world. It provides us an ability to plan and to control certain aspects of our situation and to proceed from there. Well, what happens when uncertainty is introduced, we go to the limbic system of our brain. And in the limbic system, that's the place where fear is generated in our body. That is the place where the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight mode, gets activated. And depending upon the degree of uncertainty that we're experiencing, we are more or less operating in the limbic system. And it doesn't mean that we have to operate there. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. What we're going to discuss is, how do I stay in my rational brain? How do I block this pathway to the limbic system? How do I, in the midst of uncertainty, control my thoughts, maintain clarity, be able to plan, and most of all, just be able to have a sense of peace in my life as I'm living it. That's in contrast to living in the limbic system, where fear is present and my survival instincts kick in. And remember, these are thousands of years of evolution. The fear kicks in, I go into survival mode, and it's just boom, 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 boom. I'm making decisions, and they may not be the best decisions. They may be erratic and really not thought out. I am reacting. I am reacting to an immediate sense of fear that I'm having. And so today, how that might show up is you may be scared with your situation. You may be thinking that you need to take some steps and some actions that you would never even consider. Maybe thinking of hiding, shutting down, because it's not like we have tigers chasing us, right? I mean, it's not that type of a situation. So we can afford the luxury of being in fear and just shutting ourselves down. And that doesn't help us long-term to move forward through this situation. And the other thing that we deal not only individually is collectively, because when there's a collective sense of fear, it triggers an extreme fear or panic. And if you think that isn't true, were you in the grocery stores last week, last several days? People are going in, they're afraid, they're buying everything. It's not even rational. I mean, people are buying more food, more toilet paper than they can use in an entire year. I mean, think about it. If things are so bad that we need to have a year's supply of toilet paper saved because it won't be available, there's going to be a lot worse things than just the toilet paper, right? All right. So what you and I are going to discuss here today, what we're going to look at are ways that we can block the pathway to the limbic system and keep us operating in the rational brain. So let me share a few things with you. There's some definite steps that we can do. Some of these ideas I just want to bring out, and this picture especially, is I read an article that was published at talentsmart.com, and the article was about emotional intelligence and using that to reduce uncertainty and operate in a productive way through it. So I would recommend you check this article out. Some of the information I'm going to use were ideas and information that was provided in this article. I think it's very good. And of course, I've added my own twist and my own information as a life coach to help you manage this successfully as well. So as we look at this, there are specific ways that we can do to interrupt the course from the rational brain to the limbic system. One of those, and it's one that we can immediately do, is to focus on something positive in the present moment. And this is one of the problems that we have when we become fearful and we become panicky, is we have a tendency to live too far in the future. We have a tendency to follow our imaginations forward and to think of some outcomes that aren't real, that aren't present, that we're not experiencing. But our mind is so powerful that as we think about those imagined experiences in the future, our bodies respond to that as if it's real. And in that response is where we get the adrenaline surges and the sympathetic nervous system gets activated, and where we're on edge and we're anxious and we're fearful. So what I am hoping to share with you today are ways that you don't have to go there. It doesn't serve us in the long run, right? We're not being chased by tigers. We have resources, we have processes, and if we can pause for a moment and get ourselves in that place, we can create much better and more productive outcomes for ourselves. So, focus on something positive. One of the things that you can do is just think about something that was good that happened today. I mean, if you're into a fearful moment, or if you're into a path to panic, you can stop, you can pause, you can say, hey, what happened good today? What is actually good here? Maybe you had a really good conversation with a family member, someone you love. Maybe someone said something really nice to you. Maybe someone did something really nice for you. Maybe you did something really nice for them. There's many ways that this can play out. The point is, you want to bring yourself into the present moment. You want to bring yourself present right now and not live in the imaginations of a fearful future. One of the best ways to help bring you present and to help reset your emotional self is to concentrate or express gratitude for something in your life. Gratitude creates feelings of goodness in us. It creates feelings of blessing, of satisfaction, of hope, warmth. And that's the type of emotional landscape we want to be living in and operate from so we can make our best decisions moving forward. One of the things that you can do is focus on someone in your life that makes it better, that makes you better. So focus on something positive. That's number one. Number two is to really get real about the situation. And what can really help us do that is to make a list of the facts. It's basically a 2-column list, right? We can make a list of what we know, and we can make a list of what we don't know. So today, in light of the coronavirus, there are things we know. We know that the virus moves through a certain way. We know that there are ways to prevent exposure to the virus. We know that there are processes or restrictions in place that are going to affect our daily lives. What we don't know. Things we don't know is, how long this virus process will take. We don't know what restrictions might be put in place next week. We don't know if we're going to get it or not, right? That's a big one. I don't know. You don't know. And in this process of making the two lists, of making a list of what we know and a list of what we don't know, there becomes a clarity around what I can control and what I can't control, right? And in the event or in the process of knowing what I can control, that's where our focus goes. That is where our energy and our actions take place. I can't do anything about a virus spreading worldwide. That's out of my control. But I certainly can take precautions for myself and my family to the best of my understanding to not catch it. And that's just one example of how when we focus on what we can do, we can create a greater sense of control for ourselves. And when we feel in control of our lives, we operate better. We're in better moods. We make better decisions. The other thing we can do, this is a great one. This was shared to me by my friend, Dr. Ray Doctor. And it's focus on what you prefer. And so there's an exercise that he shared with me. And basically, if you are freaking out about the coronavirus, if you are depressed about it, if you are anxious and fearful and scared about it, and it's taking up your entire focus, it's taking up your complete bandwidth, there is a way to shift out of that. And let me just share it with you. So basically what you would do is just sit down in a chair or stand, but have your palms open, palms opened up. And what you do is go ahead and close your eyes. Take a breath. With palms open, your left palm and your right palm. In your right palm, imagine that you have the coronavirus. All the things, not that you have the coronavirus, but you're holding all the things that you know about the coronavirus, all the implications, all the aspects that are in your universe and in your world of understanding about coronavirus. And this isn't about having feelings about it or emotions about it. This is just about it's here. So many people have it. There are people who die from it. There's vaccines being developed right now for it. There are tests happening to decide who has it, right? It's just the data points. But it's all of that sphere, all of that universe of coronavirus. And then in your left hand, Imagine what you like. Imagine things in your life that are good. Imagine things that are good about you. These are the things that make you happy. These are the things that bring you joy in life. These are the things that you feel blessed to experience or have experienced. And what's interesting about this is in your right hand, in the universe of coronavirus, you may feel a lot of things, a lot of negative things about it. And the reason that you feel those negative things about it is because you have something to contrast it against. You have what you prefer. You have the experiences of love and happiness and joy in many different situations with many different people. And that is real. That's a reality that you know. And because you know that reality, you can decide that you would prefer not to experience the universe of the coronavirus, right? It's something that you would prefer not to do. And so this is what this process does. It helps us realize we have two realities. We have a reality that could be very negative, that could be very unknown, that could just be messy, right? And we have this other reality that's also very real. It's about who we are, how we are, what we do, what is important to us, how we act and behave, and how others have acted and behaved towards us that are good, that we enjoy, that we prefer. So two realities, and we get to choose both, right? We get to choose if we're kind and loving. We get to choose to receive love and kindness from others, right? So in the event that we're struggling in this situation of fear, being fearful of living in this time of the virus and the impacts that it has on our lives, we could focus on that. But why? Why wouldn't we rather just focus on what's good, what's blessing, what we prefer? And if I focus on what I prefer, I can move towards it. I can bring more of it in my life. And when I do this, when I focus on what I prefer, when I focus on my own goodness and the goodness of others and the things in my life that make it good, the things that I have that are good, that is another way to interrupt that pathway to the limbic system that's going to throw me into fear and to panic. All right, very good. Okay, so the other thing you can do is take actions that better yourself and your situation, not the problem. You know, there's very concrete actions you can take. You know, if you want to learn something new, if you have Wi-Fi, if you have internet, you can do it. You can connect and converse with people in a virtual platform, right? That might help you, that might bring value for you into your life to become a better person. You know what, maybe it's an online exercise program. Maybe it's an online class. Maybe it's an online conversation with a friend who's really wise and smart and helps you see some things that help you be better. So those are concrete actions, right? Kind of linear type things. There's something else you can do to better yourself. And that is recognize how you may be fighting yourself. Recognize how you may be entertaining thoughts and beliefs about who you are and what's going on with you right now that don't support you, that don't help you move forward. And after you recognize that, if you recognize the thoughts that are causing you to behave a certain way, to act a certain way, to say certain things that you'd rather not do or say, if you weren't fighting yourself in this area, how would you be? If that misbeliefs about who you are, if those difficult beliefs that are negative in your life, that weigh you down, that hold you down as a person and an individual, if they weren't there, how would you be? Right? So in the context of bettering yourself and in your situation, this is a huge area. This is a huge area that you are able to pause and allow yourself to open up, to be that person, that way of being you would want to be if you're not fighting yourself. You didn't have this internal, I'm a bad person, or there's something wrong with me going on. There's something wrong with me in this situation. Or, you know, how I'm showing up is like, that's not how I want to show up. Allow yourself to show up and be the way you want to be. It's a perfect time to work on it. And it is so important because ultimately, whatever you do, whatever I do, like if I do something, I show up, I'm there wherever I go, right? So if I carry these negative beliefs with me, it doesn't matter what I'm doing externally because I'm still fighting this thing. I need to let it go. I need to step into that other aspect of who I know I am, who I choose to be, and how I choose to show up. All right. The next thing you can do is very practical. Create a contingency plan, right? And if you've been laid off from work, and if you have certain financial needs, or certain health needs, or certain whatever the needs are, and you may not have the resources to meet those needs, it's time to ask for help. As men, we often have a very difficult time asking for help. Get over yourself. I need to get over myself. You know, you and I are not islands. And I think this is a perfect example. I mean, the metaphor of an island acting like it's not affected by anything else is not happening in light of coronavirus. It's global. It's cross borders. It's crossed families. It's cross communities and cultures, right? We are not islands. We live in an environment with other people. And as such, we may need to ask others for help. So who is it that you could ask for help for your particular situation? And, you know, who is it that you would be able to offer help to? Okay, so it works both ways. The important thing is it's a time where we can create alliances with people. We can work together. We can help one another. We can support each other. We can share resources. It does begin by asking for what you need. So my encouragement is that you don't suffer in silence, that you don't suffer alone in some fear of what's going to happen to you because you're without something that's important that you need. Reach out and ask. All right. The next thing I want to look at is the what if train. I love the what if train, right? This is a real phenomenon. When we get scared, when we move into fear, oftentimes it comes from, well, what if this happens? Like, for instance, you work in a restaurant, your restaurant's been closed because of the current situation to stop the spread of the virus, and you are at home and you are without a paycheck. And you could potentially fall into, well, what if this lasts, you know, for this amount of time? Or what if the restaurant never opens back up? Or what if I can't get a new job, right? And it's just do. It's all negative. It's on the what if train, just going to crap, right? There's another option for what ifs. What if you took this time to explore potentially another area that you would be interested in working in? What if you took this time to connect with some people who may be able to help you in some ways that are different, that provide more opportunity for you for your future? What if you chose to not focus on what you can't control right now when you're going back to work, but in this moment today, what if you spent some time with your kids? What if you really engaged with them? What if you showed up strong for them and created an emotional safety net for them in this time? What if you did that? So the what if train could be a good train, but you need to get on the right one. You don't want to be on the what if negative train. You want to be on the what if positive train. And look for those what ifs in your life. What if I was this? What if I showed up like this? What if I called this person? What if I said this? And what if I did this? The things that bring out the best in you. That's a good what if train to be on. All right. And the last thing I'd like to share with you tonight is it's important to support your parasympathetic nervous system, okay? The parasympathetic system is what reduces our heart rate. It's what basically provides a sense of calm and rest in our body. And we all need this space. We all need to be able to enter this, especially when things are moving quickly around us or they're changing. We need to be able to periodically go in and calm ourselves. So here are some ideas for you to be able to do that. One of them, and one of the very best ones, is to breathe. It's about breathing deeply, breathing from your diaphragm. If you can breathe from your diaphragm and you can concentrate on your breath, that has an effect on your heart to reduce your heart rate, to reduce the activity in your body. It provides you an opportunity to allow your body to develop some clarity and not to be on a hypersensitive input intake system, right? So breathing. Just close your eyes, relax. Deep breaths from your diaphragm. Inhale, exhale. Do that for a minute or two. The other thing you can do is meditate. Meditate is a calming activity. And whether you've meditated before or not, one of the easiest ways to meditate is just to focus on your breath. It's just to breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And you just can have that mantra going on in your mind. And don't, as thoughts come, you just let them go, let them pass through. There's different meditating techniques. It's a perfect opportunity to get on YouTube, get on the internet, and find a technique that you might like that works well for you. The other thing you can do is listen to some calming music. If there's a particular band you like, if there's a particular song you like, it really brings you a sense of peace and calmness, play it. Allow your body to pick up that auditory, sensory sound and allow your body to enter a state of calm. What is important to do here in all of this is get yourself in a place where you can connect your conscious down to your heart. You can connect your awareness down to your heart, and you can let your heart respond back. And when we allow our heart to open, when we allow our heart to flow, it automatically creates a sense of wellness, well-being, goodness in us. And I guess that's my message for all of us tonight. The message is, allow yourself, choose for yourself to operate and come from your place of goodness, from the goodness that is in you, from the goodness that is in your heart. Allow yourself to be your best self. Give yourself permission to be your best self. And from this place, you can make whatever decisions need to be made as information comes in, as things change. You can come from a place of steadiness, calmness, rational brain, and move forward and be productive and make good decisions in your life and for the lives of those that are in your world who depend upon you. So that's my hope for you. That's my blessing to you. And that's where I am going to choose to operate from in the coming days, weeks, and potentially months. So let me know what you thought about this. Send me your comments. If there are questions that you have, maybe some more information you'd like, I'd be more than happy to give you that information. Just get a hold of me here at Empowered Men Coaching and let me know what you need. And I will do my very best to provide the information and the support that I can to you. More than anything, we are all in this together. I want you to succeed. I want you to be healthy. I want you to thrive. That's what I want for my life. And I believe we can do that as we support each other, and doing that lifts us all up higher. So thank you. Thank you for your attention and your time. I appreciate you being here tonight. And this is Todd with Empowered Men Coaching. I help men take action to create the lives they want to be living. Blessings. Good night.